If you're looking to speak Brazilian Portuguese quickly, then you probably heard of Pimsleur. But is it really worth the time and money? Well, today, I'm giving you my full review after using it for learning Brazilian Portuguese. Let's dive in. Alright, so what exactly is Pimsleur? If you've never heard of it, it's a language learning program that focuses on getting you to speak fast. Now, Pimsleur's approach is all about active learning. You're forced to recall words and phrases on the spot. I've been using it to learn Brazilian Portuguese myself, as so.
She says, pleased to meet you.
Muito prazer.
Muito prazer.
And as you can see, the idea is pretty simple. Listen, repeat, and then build on what's been learned. And something else to note is that you're speaking Portuguese from day one. No nonsense, no prep, straight into the deep end. That's something that I like about this language learning program. It's also structured in such a way that you're forced to think in Portuguese rather than just memorize. The app basically looks like this. Now, every lesson's about 30 minutes long and it's all audio based. This means you can do it absolutely anywhere, in the gym, on the train, on the toilet seat, in the shower, and when cooking. I personally use it almost everywhere in my morning routine, as I'll show you in this video up here, but it's really useful because you don't have to be chained to a desk to learn. You can literally learn absolutely anywhere. So let's talk about what Pimsleur does well. And honestly, it's really good at a few key things. Firstly, you start speaking immediately, and this is a real pro if your aim is to speak to people in Portuguese, whether you're going on holiday or just want to impress some friends. And by the way, you won't be reciting animals or colors. You'll be learning real, practical, conventional conversation to help you with basic conversation with your friends or whilst you're on holiday, which is really useful. Some other apps are not very good for this. For example, in my case, just after a handful of lessons, I was able to order a coffee, ask for directions, and basically introduce myself, which I was very happy with considering I only spent about an hour and a half or 2 hours on all of those lessons. Can't complain really. And trust me, this is a real game changer because it's super motivating when you're actually making material progress in a language. This is the sort of thing that will help you to continue learning. It's almost like a positive feedback loop that using Pimsleur can give you. Now, the second thing that Pimsleur does well is emphasize active learning. It's not just about passively learning. You're forced to speak out loud, respond to prompts, and engage with the language. By doing this, you'll commit words and phrases to memory. Now, the final pro that I'd like to mention in this video is that Pimsleur is extremely flexible. As alluded to earlier, since it's all audio, you can do the program absolutely anywhere. And I mean anywhere. Toilet seat, shower, gym, train, on the bus, you name it, you can do it. Now, having said all that, let's get real. While Pimsleur's great for getting you to speak quickly, it's not a complete language learning program, and here's why. First off, the content is limited as you're mostly learning set words and phrases. And whilst that's great for basic conversation, if you want to deepen your understanding, Pimsleur's not really the tool for that. As in, if you want to master Brazilian Portuguese with Pimsleur, you'll hit a ceiling pretty fast. So if you really want to understand the why behind a language, as in the conjugation, grammar, and vocabulary and context, then Pimsleur is not the best tool. You're going to need something a little bit more comprehensive. And this is where tools like textbooks and dedicated grammar apps come into play. Now, before going further, it's important to note this. I know I mentioned that this is a positive, but it's also a negative, and it's the fact that Pimsleur is audio-based. If you're a visual learner, this could be a problem, right? But for somebody like myself, who's on the move a lot and likes to just learn off the cuff, this is perfect. But if you're somebody who needs to learn visually, then this could be a problem. Having said that, Pimsleur does have a few exercises and you can read the vocabulary that you learn in the class on the app, but it's not the most comprehensive language learning tool, as I mentioned before, and its primary mode of teaching is audio. So if you're a visual learner, then perhaps Pimsleur is not for you. Now, here's my recommendation. If you want to start speaking quickly, then use Pimsleur. But if you want to master the language, then you're going to have to use it alongside another language learning tool like a textbook, classes on Italki, and or a language exchange. Practically, that could be using a textbook like the Complete Brazilian Portuguese textbook, taking classes on Italki, and joining your local language exchange. That way, you won't only be able to speak, but you'll also be able to listen, read, and write in Brazilian Portuguese. Think of it like getting the best of both worlds, being able to have a quick conversation and getting a solid foundation in the language. So, is Pimsleur worth it for Brazilian Portuguese? Absolutely, especially if your goal is to speak quickly. But remember, it's it's just one small piece of a larger puzzle. To really master Brazilian Portuguese, as alluded to earlier, you have to combine it with other language learning tools. So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but it definitely helps. Another thing that could help is liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more language learning tips and tricks. If you enjoyed this video, then go check out my other video where I teach you guys how to learn Brazilian Portuguese in just 10 days up here. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.